Welcome to High Oracle's Reiki Spiritual Healing Channel. And I think I got this niqab on right because, my face has lost some weight. And, when you go through Ramadan, something's going to lose some weight. So, I wanted to clarify to you the premonition that I had because I told you, on last week that I saw some flies that were pursuing the chosen ones in this premonition. And I wanted to get more clarity on this type of entity that was trying to pursue us. And, like I said, I saw this reflection and a reflection of, clear water of these types of flies trying to follow us. And, the dragonflies was eating them, and then the sunburst came down upon us, shined on us, and it burnt this entity up. It was unable to follow us. So Pazuzu is the name of this entity, and they have put this entity in several movies. The Exorcist. It is an air demon, and it is an entity that causes sickness, disease. It is for those who understand famine. This is another one of those entities. And, this type of entity is usually associated with the air and disease, health problems, is associated with different types of attacks up on the mind, trickery. This is a treacherous demon. It will make you believe that, you are needing it for protection. It is a disease kind of entity that once you allow it to enter, it starts to spread not only in your body, but throughout other people. Okay, and I had to just, pray against this because I'm glad that I'm bringing this to you to clarify, because a lot of the chosen ones, we're not looking back. We're not looking back at those family members. We're not looking back at those relationships. We're walking into our prosperity time, our prosperity moment. A lot of us are not looking back at where we came from. The past is the past. Those people who want to continue to hang out with you and bring up your past, we're not looking back. We're cutting off people left and right. Okay, so we understand that, in this premonition, we're walking into our prosperity, our restoration. And these entities that are from the past that are pursuing some of us who have not been able to cut those energy cords, who keep going back to those people who want to bring you down and keep you addicted and keep you in a low vibrational state, low self-confidence. They want to keep you, addicted to drugs. Again, they want to keep you drinking. They want to keep you in those card houses, those parties. They want to keep you into, those shindigs, those block parties, anything of that nature. These people, these are the flies and the disaster that I was seeing that is connected to your past. These are the flies and, Pazuzu, this demonic entity that wants to trick you into believing that they are protecting you when they actually have a wicked design against you to, send negative energy to your health, to enter, not only your body, but the other person's body as a possession, to take over your health, to, cause struggle and strife in your family, to turn people against you. So you're not supposed to go back to those family members And so let's take a look at what it is saying with the holy books. Well, we're gonna look at in the Bible. It says Pazuzu is a demon, and that's not in the Bible. It is a demon from ancient Mesopotamia, Sumerian, Akkadian, and Assyrian mythology, representing the southwest wind. So, like I said, this is what I was seeing in my dream. These flies were pursuing us, and the dragonflies was eating them, and the sun opened up and burnt them up. They were unable to pursue us. So, he was used as a protective amulet against other demons. He was popularized by the movie Exorcist. Origin is ancient Assyrian Babylonian mythology. The role of this entity is known as the king of wind demons. So this is why they were, this is why it was flying, in order to attack us. It wanted to be reattached to their host. And so this is why you were not supposed to look back. This is why, I was able to see it in the reflection, flying, hovering over us as the dragonflies were attacking these flies. So it is a wind demon. Okay. So, the other part of this, it says, despite his evil nature, he was invoked for protection against demoness Lamashu. So, this is where we have, and it's depicted with a lion's head, eagle claw, and wings. So, like I say, this is an entity that is flying, that was trying to catch up to us to re-enter, and it was, it was intervene. We had, divine protection, and it was intervene on our behalf. And that's why I wanted to get clarity, because I wasn't aware of this type of entity. This entity is associated with sickness, disease, filth, inside of the body. It wants to possess your mind. It wants to possess you. It wants to, enter into filthy minds, bodies, things that you should not be doing. So we have been talking about these types of demonic entities. And like I say, I'm glad that I could get the clarity on what I was seeing, why, because I was kind of startled as I looked into, this clear water. I could see, lots of dragonflies just coming, stopping these millions of flies and eating them. So we understand that, a lot of these types of entities, they have put into movies, and we have to make sure that we're looking up these types of entities when we encounter them, especially if you keep, hearing a certain type of movie, or if you keep hearing someone on the internet talking about a certain type of movie. You want to look that up, and you also want to pray against that type of entity. Okay, you want to make sure that this entity does not take over your body, take over your life. Prayer. A lot of the entities, they do not like cleanliness. They do not like a clean mind, a clean heart, where you have a connection, a constant connection to God, where you are praying. None of the demonic entities that I have talked to you about, they do not like a connection to God. They will start to attack you if you are in, a low vibration, a low self-esteem. If you're, smoking, drinking, partying, doing some of the things that you were engaged in, when you were younger, doing some of those things, being reckless, having anger issues. See, a lot of people don't think about controlling their behavior. I've been getting, on myself lately about controlling my behavior, my anger. I have to just walk away sometimes. You can have it. Okay, that's been the story of my life. You can have it. I'll just go over here. So this is how we understand these entities want to enter a person that is low vibrational, low self-confidence, that has been talked down to, who are in fear, okay, who gets angry easy, who is involved with, drinking, smoking, partying. When you're walking into, your new life with restoration of your health, when you have entrusted High Oracle in order to cleanse these negative energies out of your life, you're walking away from your past. You can't go back. You can't go back to what you were doing. You can't go back to intercourse with just anybody. You're going to, attract what you need when you're walking into your purpose, when you're walking into what God has for you. And this clear water has cleansed that negative energy, that spirit. A lot of these spirits do not like water. This is why they are filthy. They don't like to be cleansed. Water cleanses them. Water breaks them down. And for many of you, I have been anointing you. I have been on my video chats. I thank all of you who have donated for that. I have anointed you, and I know that God is restoring you right now. That's why these demons are attacking us so much. That's why they are pursuing us. But God has divinely protected us, and we have to make sure that we do not look back. We do not go back, and we keep moving forward in what God has for us in our life purpose. And I hope that you have received this message. So please book your consultation so that I can acclimate a gift to you, so that I can anoint you, so that we can move forward together in removing any kind of entities you may have in your life. Donate to my channel. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm High Oracle, Reiki Spiritual Healer. Assalamu alaikum.